Alright, welcome to Dead Skull Genetics, episode 2, for our seed to harvest video series. So, what I have here going on, I mean, you guys saw last video where I basically sprouted the seeds. So we have two overachievers over here that are going to need to be transplanted. Wonder Pie is going to the taproot coming off of that, and I'll show this to you guys as I unfold this, but the main root that came out of Wonder Pie is fairly large, and I don't mean like fat, but long. Pulp Friction is also has a pretty decent tail, so these two are going to be the first two to get transplanted into their pots to start their growing process, guys. So the other two, my Naval Haze and my Bubba Slush. Bubba Slush just cracked open, and Naval Haze hasn't even started to germinate, it looks like. So we'll give Naval Haze a few more days. Usually the sativas take a little bit longer to pop, but for today's video we're going to go over my seed starting mix. Now, there are many different ways of being able to do this. You can go to your hydroponic store and get your typical soilless medium through there for your pot seed starting mixes, which are not bad. They work. You know, Fox Frog or Forest Frog, whatever they got at the hydroponic stores, or what you can get at your local hardware store. You can do that. I typically kind of make my own a little bit here, because I'm going to be growing them in soil, so I want them to touch soil their whole time. This way it's not really a huge shock going from, you know, coco coir to soil. Could be a small little shock to it, and I just don't have too much good things about the coco coir. You got to be very selective of your coco coir, because they wash that stuff out in salt water, and the salt water is not good for the plants. Over salting your plant will kill the root off, basically. So what we're going to do today, we're going to mix up. Since I am going to be starting 4 plants, I'm going to go ahead and start my seed starting mix. You know, so this is just my formula. It's nothing special, guys. It's not like, oh my god, proprietary, super secret stuff. It is super simple. Even you can do this. Super simple. So we'll take these and put them off to the side for a moment here. Make sure those are nice and safe. And this is one thing that I do recommend, is getting a germination kit. They're not that expensive. It's just a clear dome on top of a 1020 tray. So a 1020 tray dome and a 1020 tray without holes in there is perfect for this. Put the top off to the side here. I do have a temperature in here, because I will be putting this onto a heat mat, and I want to be able to measure the temperature plus the humidity in here. I'll tell you how to get humidity to raise in here, because we need a higher humidity content as we are popping seeds. So we'll go ahead. I just need these for right now. We can pull this off to the side, and I can also move this off to the side. Because what I really need, it's going to be this. You can get at Ace Hardware. It's just a topsoil. Nothing special with this, guys. Absolutely nothing special. And this is mortar trays you can get at Home Depot, Lowe's, or whatever. They all have them. It's just a mortise tray. So the way that I do this is I will grab, I grab one of this. This is like my measuring cup, basically. So I need at least 4 cups of this, right? So I take it out of my topsoil. Now, this is not what I'm trying to grow my plants in. Is just this. This is just topsoil. Yeah, I can do it, but I want to give it a little bit more substance to that. So I get a second cup of this. This is probably about what I will need for all 4 of them. And I want to make sure that everything is broken up into small little chunkies. We want as small of things and any kind of debris that may be in there. Just go ahead and pull that out. You can sift this stuff and get a little bit finer because it'll have a little bit of wood in here. We're trying to limit the amount of direct wood pulp out of this. The wood will kind of rob some nitrogen out and holds a lot of moisture. And I know this is going to have a considerable amount of wood chip pulp in here, but we want to kind of keep it down to a minimum. And it's like, that's all I really do is make sure it's all nicely broken up. Anything that feels like a chunky, I just pull out. Pull it out if it feels chunky. We got delicate roots here. We do not need them to be impeded by like pieces of wood or big rocks or something like that. We want to kind of give them the best environment possible. So bam, just like that, we have our soil mixed up here. So for our next ingredient that we're going to put into here, I want to put a little bit of nutrients in here, but don't put compost into your seed starting mix. You tend to bring in some potential pathogens to a seedling that's not ready to handle that kind of nutrients with that kind of microbiology. So we want to be as least harsh on the environment, but I do want to add something to it. This way, whenever they come out of their seedling stage and they start looking for food, that they have it. And that's where I come in with with this here, which is worm castings. Now I do about a 5 to 10% ratio of worm castings in here, because you are bringing in some microbiology and you will have some potential bugs that you're bringing in because it's a worm bin. I don't care if it's indoor or outdoor. You are going to bring in a pest load. So we'll go ahead and get this in here. Go ahead and just mix it right on in. Just like that. Now, I'll take this and mix it in. And it doesn't need to be a whole lot. We're not trying to nutriate the seedlings until they get into their forever pots. I just want to give them a little something, right? Now, the other part of this is that something like this, if I water it a little heavy, it will clump up on me and just be too water saturated. So we want to give it some aeration. And that is where this turns into. We got some perlite here, and perlite's nice, light and fluffy and promotes good drainage. I don't recommend using this on your into your normal pots, but for your seedlings, something that's going to be kind of consumed a little bit, this is perfect. And you want to have more of this in there for good drainage than you want of soil. You can do just pure perlite and grow into it. You'll have to treat it like hydroponics. It's a little bit more finicky, but you get the point that this is what you want for drainage. And I don't mind seeing a whole lot of perlite in here, just because it promotes the good drainage. And I may need to mix some more for all 4 pots. We'll see how far this goes. All right, so let's go ahead and fill this. Now it doesn't need to be like brimming. You got to have a place for water to be able to sit on there for a moment, and then you just slightly tamp it in. You're not trying to whack until it's packed in there like a brick. So we want to get the air pockets out, but we don't want it to be so buried in here that it can't get any water out of here because you done plugged it all up. And bam, just like that. I actually might have enough for all of this. Let's see here. And that first time you're watering in, we're just trying to get it to where get some saturation of like a drip or two, so don't overwater it and then plant right into it. If you overwater it, you got to wait a day for it to kind of drain off a little bit. It's just a gentle watering. Again, just trying to get like something like this might take like a shot glass's worth of water in here to be at complete saturation. And you can do it by weight too. As you start putting water in here, you'll feel the pots kind of getting a little bit more weight into them. You figure a proper watering, you're looking at about 10% of the total volume will be water. Is good water saturation. Like this one's feeling good, better. Like they're almost saturated right now. Like this is starting to get somewhere, and I want to leave a little bit of headroom because I got to put plant into a couple of these, so let's go ahead and do that aspect now. So I'm going to take this one and this one to plant into, and we're going to start off with my Wonder Pie. The Wonder Pie, she's got the biggest taproot on there, so I'm going to have to actually make a little bit of an indent for her to drop into safely. And when you're pulling these out, try to not touch the taproot if you can. That is a very delicate part of the plant at this point. It's going to be that taproot. And then remember guys, we printed out labels, right? So we're going to go ahead and label it at the same time. And do these one at a time. Don't be, I'm going to plant all these and get them all prepped. Just do one at a time. let's go ahead and open this up here, and I'll show you the taproot on this. She's pretty large. She's large and in charge.
Yep, that's the taproot right there. Do not touch the taproot and plant that taproot down. That is the direction that it wants to grow. Let's do this.
So I'm going to grab this with a set of tweezers here, and we're going to be really gentle and just kind of grab it. Now I'm going to plant it with the seed head poking up a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and water it in. And that should be plenty right there. So bam, that's one. And now we get the fun part of labeling this. Let me dry my hand off here. So I got a little bit of agua on my hands. Bam, Wonder Pie. We have Wonder Pie in the pot now. Now time for pulp friction.
Show off this one here. It's got a little tail sprouting out.
Could I have let this one go a little bit longer? One extra day? You know what? I will. I'm going to give this one one extra day in the paper towel without really being, no, I don't like that it's facing the wrong direction now. I'm gonna give it one extra day here. I'm gonna turn it around so that I can give it more room for the root. And we'll put this back in here. And I will see you guys probably tomorrow to put this one in. So, with that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. When we check in on this one, oh, let me put the label back in there. I forgot the label. Because I know Pulp Friction will be ready, and maybe Bubba Slush will be ready too. Get the air out of this. Get her over back by the heater, and we'll get this into its forever home for germination. We'll get her nice and warmed up here and get her going now. Like I said, I was going to tell you guys about getting moisture into the tray section here. So I got myself a temperature and a humidity sensor here. So what we do for this portion is you get water all up in here, so that we have our initial humidity right here. This is not enough for the plant to take up. And then you can put your sensor back in. And you can put your pots all back up into here. And then the other thing you do is you spray the inside of the lid. We want the moisture everywhere. Now that we got the moisture on that, now we can seal this all up, put it onto the heating pad, and it will, and put it underneath the lights, and this will start getting nice and warmed up in there, and we'll have a nice humidity in here. Once everything starts popping a little bit, you can crack it to get a little ventilation here, because we don't want to get mildew or molds growing at the same time. But until I'm ready with the rest of them, I'm not going to subject all of them to the humidity. So that's what we're going to do for today. So stay tuned. I'll see you probably tomorrow. It'll be this quick.